Hey everybody, just kind of diving into this wiring thing a little bit here. Figured I would start on my injectors. So I have my injector harness, and what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to snake it right through the intake manifold. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to try. Some of this stuff is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to try to wire this. I'm going to try to do this so that it looks decent, so that it looks nice. Try to get it to kind of sit inside of the intake and try to get it to sit inside of the intake so that you don't see all my wiring, right out in the open. I don't know if I will change it later, but we'll see. So this is injector 1, and this one here says injector should be 3, but I can't read it. Injector 3. Okay. So this is, I'm on the right side anyway of the harness. And I'm going to try to get these two babies to come right up through here. I don't know if you can even see what I'm doing. Tried to position the camera right on the top of the firewall. I have my hood off right now. So try to position the camera in a decent spot. So that looks like my first two. So let's see, this is injector 3. So this is gonna go right there. And I'm not even gonna lock these down yet. This is injector 1. I wanna make sure I do this right. Saw some people on the internet saying that they had a lot of problems getting their car to start, and one of the first things that everybody says is make sure your injectors are hooked up right and make sure your coils are hooked up right. That seems to be a couple of areas where I guess it's real easy to make a mistake. So using one of these cheap little Harbor Freight grab tools. So see if I can reach in there, grab these wires, and bring them out here to me. So kind of got to do whatever you can do to try to get these out of here. So, and I don't have the smallest hands. The smallest hands in the world, so that kind of tends to be a problem sometimes too. I don't know if this is the right place to start, but I kind of just thought this is where I would kind of start. I was looking at where to mount my computer and not real sure where I'm going to mount my computer. Alrighty, I'm back. Here you go. Here's the driver's side. That would be cylinder 1, 3, 5, 7. And then over here, we got 2, 4, 6, and 8. So I've got all these things snapped in, decided to just lock them down. I also fished out, here's my knock sensor connector. The knock sensors are inside here. They're in the intake. You can kind of, I think you can kind of see the top. Kind of see the top of the cap for the front knock sensor. This is This is a Gen 3. This is an early motor. I think up to about 05, 06. It's a 6.0. So it has knock sensors in the top. The newer style motors have the knock sensors over on the side of the block. So my first little step in the journey of installing my Terminator X. Thanks. Okay, episode 2. Working on my transmission harness, and I'm in my car and I've kind of decided that I'm gonna mount the computer up underneath the glove box area somewhere, and I'm gonna go out, I don't know if you guys can see, right above the steering column. These Tri-5s have a bunch of area, and there's a plate, like a block off pad or a plate that goes in there. And I'm gonna try to start pushing my cables through this way because there's a lot of room. There's a hole right here, and I was trying to figure out what the heck that hole's for, but that's gonna have to be plugged up later if I don't use it for anything. So I'm gonna take a look. I'm gonna get under the car and take a look what kind of access I have for these two areas. This part right here, this is right underneath the brake booster, so you really can't see anything, but the Terminator harness is going to have to go right up by the back of the valve cover, and it's fairly close to my firewall, but I think it would kind of be fairly well hidden. I'm trying to hide all of my wires the best I can while I'm wiring this up. All right, I've been having fun. There's my transmission harness coming out right above the steering column, going down right next to the frame. And here, down in the depths of darkness, coming down here, going down my frame, put a couple clamps, put another clamp there. Sorry about the crappy picture. Got one of my garage doors open, but got it connected, got the vehicle speed sensor connected, got the main transmission harness connected, and then way in the heck up there, who'd have thought I had a turbine on my transmission, but after reading the instructions, come to find out I do. So I got that hooked up. I'm not really sure what all this crap is about right here, all this stuff. I think this is like the selector position and maybe even the neutral safety switch right here. I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit more. All right, y'all, I think that's all I'm gonna do today. Next, I think, is I'm gonna have to figure out how to route the main harness into the engine bay. I definitely want to come up underneath like I did with the transmission harness, and I'm gonna go right through the same hole in the firewall right above the steering column, and I'm trying to figure out if I was laying under the car, trying to figure out if I can come through that hole, go down, and then come up the side of the transmission, or if I'm gonna have to go through the hole and kind of come up by the valve cover. So I think that's next. Next is I'm gonna have to figure out how to route that and then get it up there and get it through the firewall and then start plugging things in. A few things I've got to get. I was looking at the instructions for the Terminator, and I don't have a fuel pressure sensor, so I'll probably buy one of those. And I don't have a IAT, an intake air temp sensor. So I thought I had one on my stock truck manifold, but I'm not seeing it. So I'll probably have to buy an IAT and maybe cut a hole somewhere, somewhere around like my air cleaner or something like that, and so that I can get an intake air temp. So those are a few things that I'm gonna look probably online and try to pick up and keep moving forward. Thanks, you guys have a great day.